don't know what happened. There's just so much mold on it. I didn't even realize my piece could get so moldy. Hey CNC peeps. In our last video, we tested out the diamond engraving bit using this mirrored piece. And in this one, we're gonna make a frame using the molding toolpath in the Vectric software.
idcwoodcraft.com.
What is a molding toolpath and why are we using it? Well, I'd be happy to tell you. It's not as dirty as it may seem. It's actually a process using a different forming toolpath to create contours in your wood, using that to create your molding, trim, or like we're doing today, a frame. For this project, I'm using the Woodcraft 1/8 inch downcut ball nose bit. You want to use a ball nose or a taper ball nose bit because this is creating a path along this that has to be smooth. Square block to molded trim. Take this contour here for example. If we were to try and carve this radius with a straight bit, it would not be able to get that kind of curve going. Whereas a ball nose bit cut down the step over and it inches in, giving us a nice complete radius curve for a beautiful contoured molding path. Now these carves are not for the faint of heart. Take this little piece for example, measures about 9.5 inches long, and it took 2 hours to carve. So now let's take this ball nose bit and step over process to a bit different perspective. We're using a ball nose bit and a very, very tiny step over to create the smoothest contour possible. So if this 10 inches was our bit and this was the curve that we were trying to contour around, if we were to take this, say 3 inches at a time, we'd be leaving chunks all over here and possibly even scaling off tops of forms that we wanted to leave. Now, if we were to take it inch by inch, we're going around the complete contour, giving it time to catch all of the material that we're wanting to remove and leaving all of the forms behind. For my particular molding experiment here, I decided I wanted to keep the design as simple as possible so I could get some practice in using the molding toolpath, but nothing would be too complicated to cause too many issues. But I did have a few factors to think about. The wood itself is what gave me the inspiration. That is 3.5 inches wide. I don't need a 3.5 inch wide frame, but I don't have a table saw that I can just rip things right down the middle. With that in mind, I had to work around and figure out what I wanted to do with this excess material. Did I want to do a bit change and profile it off so I wouldn't have to mess with it? Did I want to carve way longer to continue the 3D path to make it disappear? In my case, I decided to extend the 3D design, and instead of extending it down to cut this piece off, I extended it out, giving me an automatic place to attach my mirror to. And in cases such as frames, you're gonna need somewhere, whether it be to slide your glass, your mirror, your picture, or what have you into or attach it to. Before we get into this project, we need to step into the Vectric software to get the design and toolpath ready to go. Stepping right into the Vectric software here. I am using Aspire, but you do not need Aspire to get started on this toolpath. I've got my material inset here, and I'm just gonna start drawing. The biggest thing that you will want to pay attention to is whether a bit can fit in the shape you've created. So I want a very bubbly look. I think I'm just going to create some arcs. So in creating this, I did not want any harsh like divots in it. I just wanted a more cloud-like look. So here you'll see I'm using the Draw Arc tool, and then once I've got a couple of arcs going here, now this is going to be slightly different than my original one, but I'm using all the same tools as I did the first time. Once I'm satisfied with all the arcs I've created, it's time to go in and connect all of my lines. Here I'll be using the Cut Vector tool to add in a smooth curve. The next tool I'll be using is the Join Close Vectors with a Smooth Curve. And let me move these over so they actually do a little bit better in that joining. In this case, by joining it with that smooth curve, I'm avoiding any sort of harsh divots where more of a V-bit would be appropriate to get into. Here, I'm going to smooth this out using the Bezier curves, just adjusting the handles to make everything transition well. There we go, I like that a little bit better. Now I know I said this one was going to be a little bit different than my original. This is a lot different, but that's okay. So as I said, one of the issues that I ran into is that my board is 3.5 inches wide and my design only ended up being about 2.5 inches wide. So once I had my design completed, I threw some measurements on here like this. If that's 2.5, that it should be 3.5. And that gives me a straight line to go along as well. We're gonna line that up and then go to the Draw Polyline tool. And then I am also going to draw a slight line out here. And while that's going to be part of the design, it just gives us that kind of finished edge that we've got here. Don't forget to connect your pieces. Now that all those are connected, the last thing we need to do before we can go over to the toolpath is create one more line, and that's going to be what is called the drive line. And that is the line that your design is driving along. I know they have better ways of putting it. That's the way I like to think of it. We have our vehicle, we have our road. Last step is on into the toolpath. And right here, they make it easy for you. It is literally called the molding toolpath. It is going to tell you to select the drive rail first, and that's that line we created. Drive rail first. If you need a gap above, just like with 3D, if you need some space above it for however the condition of your material is in, or how deep you want your design to go, that is where you can change that. And then here is where I selected the 1/8 inch ball nose. Now they have a very step over option here. I did use that. From what I understand, it helps lessen the pressure on the bit and adds a bit more detail to the design in the fact that it's kind of adjusting how much it needs to step over for the part that it's carving at that time. And then the next option you see here is the Use Larger Clearance Area tool. Now I'll show you why I didn't use this, because it should act the same way for this one. When I selected the large clearance tool, the reason I did not end up using it is because in my design, the only thing that it cleared out is that long flat spot. And while that may have been useful to a certain degree, for me, switching from a 1/4 inch collet to an 1/8 inch collet and then back and forth to do 4 different pieces of trim, it was not worth it. I actually kind of like this design too. I mean, it's just bubbles, but it's whoopee. And that large flat spot there, as I said, I'm going to use that as the base to glue the mirror to the frame. Once you've got your toolpath created, you're free to save it. And then if you have other boards that you're wanting to create this same toolpath on, but they're different sizes, what I did was I just created new sheets and I copy that contour path over to the new sheet. I make sure I set my sheet size correctly for the new one. See, the next one for me was 12.5. Okay, and then give it a drive shaft. drive rail. I think it's called drive rail. Thinking too much on cars. From there, once you've moved your design over to your second sheet and you've got your drive rail, you can follow the same process. Make sure your arrows are following the direction of your material. And there you go. Your molding toolpath is ready to go. Now let's see how it carves out. What's the saying, measure once, cut 500 times or something like that? Well, it's not gonna fit the mirror, but once the frame is dry, I think this was a successful use of the molding toolpath for the first time, and I'm excited to make more. If you try out the molding toolpath for yourself, let me know how it goes and what you use it on. Remember to hit that like button if you got anything out of this video, and subscribe to see me more in the future. If you're interested in trying any of the products used in this video, check the description below. Learn more now. Go to woodcraftresources.com.